There was always silence in Anna's life. Not the pleasant kind where you can relax, but the silence of fatigue when words are superfluous and thoughts are cut off one after another, because there is no strength to think further. She was 42. She worked as an accountant in a small private company, lived in a rented apartment, and repeated the same scenario every morning. Coffee. The way to work, papers, numbers, reports, the evening route home. Day after day, year after year, and somewhere deep down quiet, hidden so far away that it was almost forgotten, lived a dream that she once considered the greatest meaning of her life: painting. Once, during her student years, Anna could sit for hours at the easel in her dorm room. She would draw trees growing under the windows, people in the subway, children's faces in the yard. She believed that one day she would become an artist. But life, as it often does, took her down a different path. Work, stability, everyday life, and the dream became just a pleasant memory. One evening, returning home, Anna suddenly stopped at the window of an art store. Behind the glass were palettes, paints, brushes, clean canvases, the same magic that once lit a fire in her. She stood, holding the packages, and looked at all this as if she saw not things, but a part of herself that she had long lost. The next day, for the first time in many years, she went inside. She took a small set of acrylic paints, a thin brush, and a small canvas. The seller smiled. "Are you starting to paint?" Anna was embarrassed. "Rather, I'm coming back." The canvas stood on the kitchen table for 3 days. She walked past, looked, but was afraid to start. She was afraid that it wouldn't work. What could be worse than 20 years ago? But on the 4th evening, she simply sat down and began to paint. Without an idea, without a plan, just brush stroke after brush stroke. An hour later, the silhouette of a tree appeared in front of her against the evening sky. It was crooked, imperfect, but alive. Anna cried, unable to hold back her tears from happiness, from memories, from the fact that she had finally regained a piece of her soul. Drawing became her silent ritual. After work, instead of turning on the TV or scrolling through social networks, Anna took up a brush, and with each painting, her movements became bolder, her lines clearer, and her thoughts clearer. Life changed. Not on the outside. On the outside, everything remained the same, but inside, she felt alive. One day, a friend who came to her place for tea saw the paintings neatly arranged along the wall. "Anna, did you draw this?" Her friend's eyes widened. "Yes, it's just a hobby." "Hobby? But it's better than half the local galleries. Listen, I work next to them. I can show your work." Just like that. No promises. Anna hesitated for a long time, but still chose one painting, the very first one. Evening wind tree. 3 days passed, and then suddenly a call. "Anna, are you sitting now?" Her friend laughed. "Your tree, but what?" "Yes." The gallery owner showed it to a regular customer. He said that the painting breathes with peace. He asked if there were any more works by this artist. Anna was silent. The artist. Words that made her chest feel warm. The gallery offered her a mini exhibition. 5 works. 5. And Anna began to paint with renewed vigor. Not for the sake of sales, not for success, but for the sake of that girl from the dormitory who dreamed of art, but did not dare to bring her dream to the end. She will always remember the day of the exhibition. On the walls are her paintings: dawn mists, old houses, the hands of a mother embroidering, the gaze of a child, the sea before a thunderstorm. The emotions she had hidden for years now lived in paints. People stopped, looked, smiled. They asked her about the stories of the paintings. Anna answered quietly but confidently. A man came up and said, "Your works, they are very real. I don't know why, but I look at them and feel something of my own. Thank you." She almost burst into tears. The first night after the exhibition, Anna sat for a long time in the empty apartment in the same silence that had once seemed heavy to her. But today it was a different silence, calm, bright. She understood the main thing. It's never too late to return to your dream. Even if 20 years have passed, even if it seems like the chance is lost, even if the world says it's not serious. Because sometimes just one step is enough to buy a small set of paints and allow yourself to start again.